You guys, is it true that you can change your educational statuses from special education to general education? The answer to that is yes. Many people didn't have that much information about it back then, because many people like to pick on special education kids thinking that they're stupid, dumb, retarded, that they don't know shit, but they're wrong. You could change your educational statuses to prove for your academic standards, for your behavior, and your outstanding performances. Back then, there was not that much information about that situation, but there is now. Can you change your educational statuses from special education to general education? The answer is yes. Go to the title card. Hey, what's up, you guys? Justin Television here. So happy and excited. Again, today is Sunday, September 8, 2025. And this video is all about questions about changing your educational statuses from special education to general education. My question to you guys is it true that you can change your educational statuses from special education to general education? The answer to it is yes. And you want to know why? Because many kids thought that if they were in special education, they might get fun of, they might get picked on, and they think that they're not smart and capable enough to be more like the general education students, more like the regular kid students. That's bullshit. That's ironically bullshit. You could change your educational statuses. Back then, many students believe that you cannot do it. Depends on your academic abilities. Because back then, there wasn't that much information about that. Some sort of situation if the student should be in general ed for the rest of the year and all that stuff. In reality, you could change your educational statuses, and I can prove it to you. When I started my second high school, right, I became general education right off the bat. Because you want to know why? My high school professors examined me. They took a good look at me. They saw my performance and my perfect attendance record and good behavior arrangements. And they were like, this child should no longer be in special ed because this child is independent. This child is capable of doing the right thing. And we see all his not and attendance record excellent. So yeah, in reality, you could change your educational statuses, because back then, not just many people, many teachers, like between middle school teachers and high school teachers, let's just say, for example, right? They think that just because you're in special ed, you're going to be in special ed forever. That's not entirely true. You can change your educational statuses. It's up to the teacher, the Board of Education committee, and especially the parents. It's up to 3 of them to see if their child is capable of doing good things in school. It's up to these 3 people to decide on their child if this child is eligible enough to be a general education student. The teachers, the Board of Education, and the parents, especially the parents. So yeah, my mom and dad decided I could be in general ed when I started going to high school, because elementary school and middle school, I was in special ed. I was placed in special education classes along with general education students at the same time. So I was in 2 classes between general education students and special education students together. That's what happened to me in elementary school and middle school. But like I said, during high school years and college years, I became general ed. And it's entirely true, because I'm not lying. I'm not making this stuff up. Everything happens to me for a reason. I tell the truth. I do the right thing. Perfect attendance, good grades. That's how I became a general education student. I became general education student in the 11th grade. And you want to know why a little bit later than that? Me personally, I thought I was going to be general ed when I immediately started going to the 9th grade, like when I started going to high school, right? So basically, I thought it was going to be like right off the bat, but it took some time. Two years of high school years as a special education student, but then 2 years later, another high school that I attended to, I became general ed right off the bat because all the high school professors that I worked with, they saw my performance, my attendance record, my good grades, my academic standards, and especially my good behavior, because I always behaved good. I had a serious look on my face. I took my education very seriously, and I did the right thing. And sometimes I will help out my classmates. If they don't know a question, I will help them out. I think, like I said, during my high school years, I was one of the top students in my class. I was always getting A's and B's in my report card because of my academic performance, my academic standards. And all my high school professors saw that they were probably talking in their heads, like having a conversation with another professors by saying, I don't think this kid should be in special ed because this kid knows what she's doing, because she's helping out the students. She's doing all the work all by herself, and she's getting everything done right on time before anybody else can reach to his or her stance, her educational levels and all that shit. So yeah, I only became general ed in the 11th grade. High school, 11th grade, and college years. High school years and college years, I was no longer in special ed anymore. I became general ed, which is entirely true. You could change your educational status. You guys, do not let mean and nasty people judge you, because there's many people out there who would judge a person for no fucking reason, and I just find it very irritating and it pisses me off. You don't know the truth until you figure it out yourself. You can't just blame a student for the way he or she acts or doing so well or doing so wrong in school. You don't know that person. You don't even know that person. Like, this person would say, what the fuck are you talking about me? You don't even fucking know me. You don't even know me. So why would you talk shit about a person that you don't even know? Stupid. So yes, in reality, you could change your educational statuses. It's up to the 3 people in the world: the Board of Education of the school, the teachers, and especially the parents, to see their child's academic was amazing, outstanding, good, performance level up to the roof or some shit. So yeah, like I said, I became general ed when I was in the 11th grade. When I was a high school freshman, I was still in special ed. The beginning of my high school years, not seriously, 9th grade and 10th grade, I was still in special ed. Elementary school, middle school, and the beginning of my high school years, I was in special ed. But when I became a 11th grader, I became general ed student because of my academic standards, my performance, and my good behavior. Just because the way I acted in middle school doesn't mean I'm gonna do it again in the nearest future. You want me to end up doing bad things? You want me to get arrested? You want me to go to jail for doing stupid shit? Do you know what my grandmother would do to me if I pull any of this crap? She would beat the shit out of me with a belt, but not for abuse, for discipline, because back then my grandmother was so fucking serious. She doesn't play. If you ever met my grandmother, she doesn't play. She doesn't fucking play. She takes every shit serious. If we do bad in school, and if we get bad grades, or if we fight in school or do stupid shit, she would hit us. She would fucking hit us until we get our shit straight. And if we end up being bad in the nearest future by lying, cheating, and stealing and shit, my grandmother or my mother will put me or my siblings to a juvenile detention center or a mental hospital if we don't change our act. If we don't change our behavior and continue doing stupid shit for the rest of our lives, we will all be in jail. But we're not. Me and my siblings, we're not in jail. We're not in hospital because we all came out successful. My brother became successful. My sister became successful. And even me, a goofy 7th grade kid that you used to know a long time ago, is actually successful himself too. Just because we make mistakes back then doesn't mean we will continue making mistakes in the nearest future. If we keep on doing the wrong things all the time, where do you think you're going to end up? In fucking jail. If you don't cut this shit out. Get your crap together. I understand it's hard to follow some rules and some stuff you personally don't like in school, but fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. Deal with it. Fuck it, alright? Fuck it. You have to follow the rules. Everywhere you go, you have to follow the rules. Not just school. College, work, jobs. Everywhere you go, you have to follow the rules. Because if you don't follow the rules, if you're mean and nasty and disrespectful, what do you think is going to happen to you? And especially at your job, they will fire your ass. You will get fired. You won't get second chances. You will end up in the street or end up in jail for doing something stupidly foolish, doing something retarded, stupid, dumb. Get your shit together. Go to school. Do the right thing. Make friends. Don't do stupid shit that you're going to regret in the nearest future. Look, I know it's hard for any of you out there, and especially me, to follow rules out there. It's hard to follow rules, but we have to do it in order for us to survive. Because if we end up doing stupid shit that is going to land us in jail or somewhere, we will never get our second chance to freedom. We will get a second chance. They'll let us go, but you have to learn to do it right. I understand many people made mistakes in the past and does a lot of stupid shit that they regret. But look, me and my siblings, we're all fucking successful. We did the right thing. We went to school. We went to college. We went to work in order to survive and to stay out of trouble, okay? It's easy. Sometimes it's hard, but manage to do it and you'll be fine. Again, yes, I became general ed student in the 11th grade. I know why a little bit delayed, because that depends on the students' academic abilities and their performances and their academic standards when it comes to examinations, regents, SAT, and all that stuff to prepare for them to go to college in the nearest future. General education students have to be on top of everything. They cannot slack off. They cannot waste time. They cannot get extended time periods during exams. Only special education students get extra time when it comes to exams, like Regents exams or SATs. They will be in another room. They will not be in the same room with a bunch of general ed kids. When it comes to special ed kids, special education students, they go to another room for testing. I remember during my elementary school and middle school, I would go to a different classroom for testing. I remember, because I was in special ed. But if you're a general education student, you would stay in the same classroom with all the other general education students to do the exam. You would stay there. When it comes to general education students, they will be in the same room. But for special education students, they will go to another room for some quiet test times and extended test times for their services, and they need extended help. But yeah, I believe general education students, they have to be on top of everything. They have to finish everything on time. They cannot slack off. They cannot slow down. They have to get everything done on time before the next assignment or the next item throws at them. That's how general education students are. They have to be on top of everything. They cannot relax. They cannot rest. They cannot take at least a 1 minute break. Nah. General education students has to be on top of everything more than special education students, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm right or not. But yeah, general education students has to be on top of everything before the next thing throws at them. They have to be on top of this one, on top of this one, the next day, be on top of this, be on top of this. They have to be on top of everything consistently when it comes to general education students. They have to be on top of everything before the next thing throws at them. It's like finishing one spot and move on to the other. I don't know. But yeah, during the 11th grade, everything changed my life. Sorry, you guys. Somebody's using their motorcycle. The noise is so annoying. Sorry. Shut the fuck up. Jesus. You see, I'm closer to my house window because if I record in my bedroom or anywhere else, I don't hear that much loud noises or disturbance. Ignore that. Just pay attention to me. You'll be fine. So yes, when I was in the 11th grade, seriously, it changed my life. I was so happy. I was so impressed with my consistent hard work. You understand that the goofy 7th grade kid like me can ever succeed in life? Yes, he can. He can at this time. So yeah, you guys, when I was in the 11th grade, everything changes. General education student, taking the city bus and the train with a green Metro card. Everything changed for me, seriously. And let's not forget, the second high school that I went to was closer to my house in the Bronx, because elementary school, high school, and college, I will walk to school and walk home consistently every single day. Not middle school. The only reason why I didn't mention middle school, because middle school years was the time that I was taking the school bus. elementary school, high school, and college, I will walk to school and walk home every day. And let's not forget, I always get my perfect attendance because when I go to a school closer to my house, right, I always get perfect attendance, and I'm only absent one day out of the whole school year. Not middle school years. Middle school years, I had excessive, trust me. Even though I love having perfect attendance consistently, but middle school years wasn't the best time. Middle school years, I had excessive multiple absence and behavioral issues when I was in middle school. Just middle school, because elementary school, I did excellent. High school, I did excellent. And college, I did excellent. I did an amazing job. And I wasn't going to be in special ed forever. And I wasn't going to take the school bus forever either. Everything changes, all right? Everything changes. You just have to prove your parents that you're trustworthy and responsible so you can get the full custody of responsibility in the nearest future. To prove your parents and your teachers wrong that in the nearest future, this child is successful. Don't judge this kid for anything. You don't know nothing about this kid. This kid been through a lot of shit. You don't know what the fuck I've been through to get out of special ed, to become regular ed and take the city bus. You don't know what the fuck I've been through. I had to been through a lot of shit in order to get the full custody of the responsibility for my future endeavors as a student, as a high school student and a college student. You know that. And before I go, I'm going to show you an information about the educational statuses under 1 minute. I will read to you the proper authorities and the real reason that you could change your educational statuses for 1 minute, and then to close out the video. Just listen to these further instructions of the reading that I found information about changing your educational statuses. Seriously, you can change your educational statuses because many people says you can't. You don't know until you get the positive information from a teacher, from a website, to know to know the truth. Don't let mean and nasty people push you around and saying bad things about you. Just ignore them. You're no better than they are, all right? This is the information from the Google actual website and from AI, the truth information. Yes, it's possible to change a student's educational statuses from special education to general education. IEP committee recommendations. The IEP committee must document their recommendations to declassification to the Board of Education and the student's parents. So you need to discuss this with the Board of Ed, the student's teacher, and their parents to let their child know that they're capable of becoming general education. And there's another one, support services. The committee must identify any support services to be provided for the student or their teachers or their parents. To change their services from special education to general education must be provided for no more than 1 year after the student begins full-time general education classes. One more information here. General education participation. Students with mental disabilities like autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, whatever, can participate in general education, even though with a variety of services, including consultation with the teachers, paraprofessionals, support, and resources room for services. Which means by reading all this information that you just heard, it's basically a possibility that the student can become general education after they used to be in special education. Reading all this information is the truth. Don't let people tell you otherwise until they find out the real truth from themselves, you guys. Listen to the important information. Do not listen to other people saying, oh, you can't do this. It's a lie. Don't let bullies intimidate you for your educational statuses. Seriously, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Okay, you guys, I hope you find this video very satisfying. Comment on my YouTube channel and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know in the comments below, have you ever changed your educational statuses from special education to general education? If you were happy that this ever happened to you, awesome, excellent, great. See you guys next time.